Good morning, everyone. Today I have some really fun things to share with you from LDRS Creative. Angie over there at LDRS sent a really generous review package. These are basically the new summer collection for 2021. So she did send these items free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own. Any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchased items to those links. Having said that, I do want to make mention, because you might be familiar, especially if you watch my channel, you probably saw that I pick things up from LDRS Creative from HSN. But these are items that are on LDRS Creative's site itself. So I'll have the links there for you guys, and it will go to the specific site for LDRS, not HSN, okay, at this point. I do have some other items to share with you for later on when HSN has their craft day, and those will be on HSN, and of course the links will go there. But for today, because I know a lot of times people get confused or they ask about that, these items are on Little Darling Rubber Stamp or LDRS Creative's site, okay? So I took a quick peek because I wanted to arrange this in a way that would make sense, because there was so much here, and I think I got it. So let's get started. So I'm going to start off with these papers. Beautiful new papers called Painted Garden. She has, it looks like a 6x6 paper pad, and then Slimline. Okay, let me show you this. So when I say paper pad, it's paper pack, should I say. Again, she has this really pretty finish to her papers. I don't know if you can see. It's not shiny, it's just kind of like a satin finish. Really pretty. And then it has, oh, they're double-sided. That's awesome. Oh, that's even better. Thicker than layering weight. Not as thick as like a super heavy cardstock, you know. I think they hold on their own really well. But look how pretty. So hopefully you can kind of see, it's kind of folk artsy. Really beautiful colors here. So it's like 2 sheets of each of 12 designs, I believe. Well, it's double-sided, so there's quite a few designs here. So there we go. Look at this, beautiful. So I suppose if they're double-sided and there's 24 sheets of each, 24 sheets in total, 2 each of each design, there are 24 designs. Look how pretty. What a beautiful mini album this would make, because it all just coordinates and it's just so pretty with all that folk art. Did I say folk art? Folk art. So pretty. And you can get inspired from these colorways with some of the items I'm going to show you next, with the stencils and dies and all that. And we're going to try some of them out today. Probably just something quick, since I am going through all the lineup, and then a little quick card we'll put together. Look at that. So pretty. I love the way it's like the full page and then like a little border design. Very cute. And, oh, well, let me look at this. And the Slimline, I'm really curious to see how she designed that, the papers. So pretty. Look at this one, just a full, well, they're all full pattern, but the way it's kind of mishmashed here. Full page, a little potpourri of flowers. I love folk art stuff. I used to do a lot of nail designs, kind of folk artsy, with acrylic paint. Really pretty. Okay. So that's a 6x6 paper pad, paper pack. And let's check this out. Again, 24 sheets, double-sided, 2 of each design. And they're 4x9 papers, so if you like your Slimline like I do to be 3.5 by 8.5, you have plenty of areas to die cut on this, or just to trim them down, or you can just make your card bigger. So there's that. So pretty. So it's just kind of elongated, as you can see, kind of like mirrored back over this way. Oh, I love this kind of thing. It's almost watercolory along with that folk art. So pretty. And slightly different from the 6x6 paper pad, where those had like designs on the back. This has more of like a pattern background paper look to it. Those gorgeous colors. Oh, it has like sweet little flowers kind of blended in there. Let me just, what am I doing? I'm gonna turn these over. Sorry. Let me just get these. All right. And that blue and orange colorway. Really nice and rich. And this one has like a leaves, kind of mottled leaves in the background. That full pattern. With the little vines. So pretty. Again, that one has like the little flowers, hope you can see them. Let me see if this light, I don't know how I have this light on this side. It looks a little bit dark over here. Okay. Ooh, that's a pretty purple. And then this gorgeous fuchsia and oranges and yellows, very juicy. The little leaves. And this one here. Beautiful. So pretty. I love that. I love these backgrounds with the little vines. So those are the papers, and then we're going to get started with some stencils and dies and stamps. When I took a peek at the site, it looks like everything right now is sold individually, so I just want to let you know. So all the links will be individual to individual items. Let's start. Oh, okay. So we have Folk Art A2, A2 size stencil, and it has the 3 stencils in here, so you can see there. And it's just a 3, and you layer them up. I mean, easy as either those 3 steps, and you'll have something like this. You can do something where you do a little masking, or just you're a little careful. Maybe you want this green, and maybe you want this like a yellow color, maybe this, you know, different color. You can just be careful to color those in, or you can mask those areas off, so you can just go, you know, wild with your brush or sponges or however you like to stencil. Or again, you can be a little more complicated with it. So pretty. And then this is really cool. So this die, it's called Folk Art A2 Covered Plate. So when you cut this, I don't know if you can see, it's going to cut 2 different things here. It'll cut the centerpiece and then this little area that's kind of thin, but it'll also leave spaces behind, right, after you've cut it. So what you can do is you can paper piece with this, because all these pieces that get cut out, you can paper piece them back in, or just some of them, because, you know, I always like to do some paper piecing. I usually don't do the whole thing, and it just looks so pretty. And so you'll have this piece, let's say you cut this out of a darker color, you can put that back in, and then let's say that you got this piece of a lighter color, you can put that in, or however you want to do it. Or you can just leave it the plate, just white paper, black paper, whatever it is that you cut it out of, and you're going to have all those little apertures, all those little holes, and then you layer it on top of this stenciled piece, and it just has such a pretty soft effect. I love it. So I think I'm actually going to try these out today. There's another one I'll show you in just a minute, just to give you some idea. So those, but again, these are separately. I just put them together because they coordinate. But so there's that one, Folk Art A2. This one is a stamp set, and then you can pick up the coordinating dies if you'd like. It is called Corner Garden, and her stamps are photopolymer stamps and stamp really nicely. And it says Friends Make Happiness Bloom, and then Your, and then Amazing, and then it has all these beautiful stamps. Pretty nice size, as you can see. Let me see if I can measure that really quickly. It might be weird to measure a stamp, but it definitely will make a nice corner piece on whatever card, a little focal point, and then maybe just have a little sentiment, you know, off to the side there. It's like 3.5, almost 4 inches in this direction. Just depends where you measure, I guess. And then about 3.5 in the other direction. So really nice focal point. I guess you can pop that on even like a slimline if you went this way, right? Because of the width. And then with a A2 or whatever other card, it would fit really nicely. And so you have those, you can color them in, you can watercolor, however you like to do that. And then there are dies that, again, you can pick up if you would like, just to cut those corners out, maybe pop them up or however you would like. So that's Corner Garden. Oh, this sweet little birdhouse. So, you know, I love the little chalets and those kind of things, the fairy sets that Angie does over there at LDRS. So this is the birdhouse set. What's really sweet about this one, again, well, when I say set, the stamp set, and then the dies, so you can pick them up separately, is that we have this piece, and we don't have to use this. So let's say you just want the house and you're going to decorate or color it in, maybe, you know, add sentiments or put it however you like. Or you can also use the dies that will make the door functional. You know, it kind of opens up. It'll cut this aperture for the little birdhouse entry. And then the little windows will have little areas cut out so you can kind of see into it. So just a fun way to use that. We have the little, I don't know what you want to, I was going to say stump, but whatever you want to call it, that you put the birdhouse on. And then there's like a little set of leaves, like a little nest or however you want to use it. Excuse me. I'm getting a little horse sound in there. The little lights and things, so sweet. So again, and the extra leaves here. So there's some little images back here to kind of show you what the dies do and show you, you know, the stamps here. Super sweet. Oh, you know what? Actually, yeah. Yeah, so this one actually kind of coordinates with that too. So we have Garden Friends stamp set, and then there's the dies that you can also pick up if you would like. So little Garden Friends, they have like the little bird bath or however you want to use it. Oh, you can make like a little fairy garden set in there. That'd be so cute. Cattail, you, how much you mean to me? What'll I do without you? Okay. You're unforgettable. Unforgettable. And we have all the different little accessories to go with that. Growing up, we had like a canal that kind of ran behind the house way back there. And in one area, we had like water kind of that ran underneath there. Anyway, they had cattails, and I love them. I just thought they were so cool. And it's so nice to just see a whole bunch of, it's great. And then like bullfrogs, you hear them, you know, doing their thing in there. Very interesting. So I love that. I love that so much. The little flowers, we have our little birds that, you know, you can put back in the birdhouse there. Look at this little guy. He's just swimming in the water. So cute. And the little frogs are having fun there. Just adorable. And then there's a coordinating die set if you would like to grab that. That cuts all the pieces. Except for the sentiments. Okay. Oh, okay. Yes. All right. So now, well, you know what? Let me, hold on. Let's look at the folk art set. I should have probably grabbed these when I was talking about the first set. And then maybe even this. So there's a set called Birdhouses Border, and it's just a die of little birdhouses. And there's some examples there on her website that are super cute of everything. If you know, whenever you click over there. Where they, you know, kind of cut down just pieces and kind of layered it up on top of each other on a card. So it's like rows of birdhouses or just along a slimline. Just super adorable. You know, like so in a wood kind of thing, pattern paper, and then did the backgrounds and everything else to go with it. Or you would trim these out. And these are the kind of dies where, you know, you might nip this. I don't know if you can see, there's already like little cuts in it. So to remove this and make it like a different color, let's say, you just put a little right there and there, and then pop on the color that you do want, you know. Well, anyway, I'll play with these soon. What I'm trying to say is, let's say you ran this through in wood color, and then you ran it through in white. So on the white one, I would just snip, take that little piece of white roof or however, and then pop it onto the wood base that we had already trimmed out. So hopefully that makes sense. This is the Folk Arts Slimline. So again, very similar as you have your stencils. I believe there's 3 stencils. Layer them up however you like. Always with stencils, in my opinion, I always start with the lighter color to darker color, because when you layer something like this, which we'll do in a little bit, when you have this, which is that orange that you see, if you were to do this in a dark color and then put a light color over it, it's not going to show up. So you want to go from light to dark, but we will do that in just a minute. And then the nice die here. So for her slimline, let's just take a quick measurement. So you guys like measurements. It looks like it's going to cut 8 1/4, which I love already, by 3 1/4. Perfect. So that would mat into what I like, the 3.5 by 8.5 slimline. So really, really pretty. So we will try this in just a minute. So this one's called Tropical Floral Slimline. And what's interesting with this, there are 3 pieces that you can pick up. Let's start with this one, the Tropical Floral Slimline Stencil Set. There are 9 stencils in this. This feels really nice and sturdy because of all the stencils that are in there. And basically, you're going to layer them up to make something like this, you guys. My goodness, look at that. So cool, so pretty. I love the vibrant. This is going to be awesome. So she does have the information. There's stencil 1A, 1B, 1C, and then, you know, let's say those are different shades of green, right? Okay, so then 2A, 2B, 2C are different shades of like a yellow, kind of golden yellow. And then 3A, 3B, and 3C are like shades of red or fuchsia. And so even though there are quite a few of them, there are 9 in here, you're basically doing 3, 3, 3, and I think that's a nice breakdown because it makes it easy to put together. That is so pretty. So cool. Okay, and then there's a stamp set that's basically the same design, but it's a stamp. So maybe stenciling is your thing. It's not your thing. Maybe you like stamps better. So we have the stamp here that has the sentiments, miss you so much. You make the world a better place. Thank you for everything. And you are special. Again, a nice big set here. The stamp itself is like about 6 inches. It's a little bit harder to measure the width, about 3, 3.5, just depending on where you're measuring. And then there's also a separate die that one can pick up if you would like to cut that out. And then this one is the Grandeur Slimline. Kind of a different style. I don't know if you can see it from here better. They both appear like hand drawn, but this one has more of a, I don't know what's the word, like abstract feel to it, you know, a little looser. So we have the Grandeur Slimline stencils again on the back here. Very easy to follow. 1A, 1B, 1C. Even 1D has two little guys for the little accents there. 2A and 2B. I like all these little yellow things that they're kind of showing there. And then the green 3A and 3B. So just a couple layers on that one. And that one has 8 stencils. And then we talked about the stamp set here. And so you are my favorite. You are so beautiful. Thinking of you today. And thanks for all you do. Really pretty. And again, that's the stamp that is basically the same design. And then there's a die that can be picked up if you wanted to cut that out, the Grandeur. And okay, oh, this is cool because when I look at this, I'm like, oh, I like a stamp set, you know, because the way it's set up on here. But it's a Garden's Edge Slimline, so this is like a big slimline stamp. And some of the examples they showed there, what's cool is that you can pick up this coordinating die and you cut this away. And all you do is just, you know, you have some background paper, just pop on a sentiment. So your time is spent, you know, coloring this in, or, you know, use embossing powder and ink. Embossing ink and powder. And then you can do like resist things. I mean, it would be really pretty just to get really fun with this. Trim that away and then have a little sentiment there. So it has lots of sentiments on here. So Garden's Edge Slimline. You're absolutely wonderful. Hello, lovely. Sending you hugs and many kisses. XOXO. One friend can change your whole life. Love you. A friend like you is one of a kind. And then again, if you want to cut that line, you can pick up the Garden's Edge die. And then a stencil. This one's called Brocade. Very pretty. It's really sweet and fun to put on envelopes or however you want to do it. So I was thinking even those slimline ones are like the A2 folk art to do on an envelope. Oh, so pretty. Just a really sweet design here with the little flowers and things. All right, guys, I am going to grab some paper and I'm going to grab some inks and we're going to try out some of the, I think the slimline folk art. Why not? I'll be right back. Guys, so I went, just grabbed some white paper. I was looking for a heavy cardstock and I'm not sure that I found it, but either way, I'm just gonna use this white paper. And all I did is just a standard A2 size sheet and I cut 4 inches here. So I have plenty for this to cut out on, and 4 inches here, just to have a little extra, and then I'll trim it down when I go to actually assemble the card. So that way we have a little bit to kind of hold down while we're stenciling. And then, I thought, you know what? I'll just look through my LDRS hybrid inks for a colorway that I think would be really nice with this. And then, you know, obviously you can mix and match different colors, but I think this would be really sweet. I love the colors in here, kind of rich colors here. And this is the set called Jewelry Beads. So I'm going to use that. So let me put these other ones away. And so all I'm going to do is, real quickly, is just run this little guy through just to get it cut. So again, if you want to do paper piecing, you can run it through different colors, or you can, everything that comes out, the little white pieces that come out, you can kind of just color them, and I'll talk about that in just a second. Let me get this off of here. And I'm just going to roll this through the marquee, but I'll be right back. Okay. You guys know, if I ever do paper piecing, I always like to kind of try to keep it together. But look at all those little pieces. So pretty. Like, I love the sprigs here. So what I do is I try to keep it together and then I'll pop things out as I need them. So let's say I wanted this piece. I'm just pretending like, let's say we did want to do some paper piecing. So I would take all these little guys and just grab my daubers or however you want to do it and ink them up. And then that'll have an inky look, which is just a different kind of like a batik look maybe. Get these and just color them in with some ink, you know, on a dauber or on a however it is that you like to apply ink, and then piece those back in later. So, I mean, there's lots of ways to play with this. Let me pop out this big guy, what I'm actually trying to get for right now. Here we go. Is the plate itself, basically, this piece here. So pretty. Oh, it feels so nice too. And then, like these pieces, this is kind of what I was mentioning. So see how this middle section, we could have that, let's say, pink or some color, you know. And then let's say we do this one in black. So you could always cut them out just with regular paper and then just keep the pieces you want. Or again, take this off to the side, color it in with some ink, color with some ink. And what I mean by that is like basically just, let's pretend this was one that I'm gonna use. You can dauber it, dauber it, dauber it, and now you have it color, pop it in on your project. Okay, let me get something. We're going to do the stenciling and I'll be right back, guys. So I have just a little something here so I can stencil on. I have all my colors. I even have little daubers that coordinate. They're not exactly the same colors for this, but that's what I'm using because they work. And then I did get a light purple because I want that behind this middle center flower that I'm going to use purple. So this is from Summer Shore. I have this little purple here. And oh, that means I need a dauber for that one too. And I'm using daubers. You can use larger things. I think they're on the LDRS site. They even have blending brushes, which I have not tried yet. So I do need to do something like that. Have something like that in my arsenal. But for now, I'm just using little finger daubers. Okay, and let's get our stencils. So again, you kind of look at it. You know, you can look on here, and it kind of gives you an idea of what is what as you're coloring it in. Like they use the pink here. Which would be all these things, but you know, if you want this green or yellow or whatever, you know, fun things you want to do, then you can definitely do that. And I don't know if you can see here, it says LDRS Creative 1, 2, and 3, and facing up towards me, so that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to, just for later when I cut this down, I'm just centering it. Again, I cut this paper 4 inches wide, and I'm sorry about the glare, but that's just how it is. And then, of course, it's 8.5 inches in the other direction because that's just the size of A2 size paper. Okay, so you know, I can even do some light green. Do some yellow to green. I'm trying to think what I want to do. And then these guys. Let me think about what I want to do with my colorways, because over here on the second one, I definitely want these little sprigs to be green. I don't know if I want everything to be green. So like, do I want this to be more like a yellowy, maybe a lime green? Maybe I'll grab some other green. I'll be right back. Okay, so as I'm looking at it, we have these 3 things, and I'm looking at my design here, and I think what I'm gonna do, obviously, well, not obviously, I was gonna make these little flowers yellow and orange, so I have to start with the yellow there. And I think I'm gonna add some orange in these parts, and then this out here, I'll do the lavender color. So just to bring those in, so yellow. And again, however you like to blend or do your little colors, I'm just gonna kind of do that. And I gave it a little swooshy. You can also just dab, dab, dab. I mean, if you're using the other brushes, you might do something different. I'm just starting kind of in the middle and going out because I want that to be the darkest area and then lighter as it goes out. So you can kind of think about those things. It's not super technical. I would just put color down. You guys know. A little color, that's what I like to do. I'm going to use the orange next. Oopsie. I did want to mention, if you're working with something and you get some hybrid ink on something, even a surface like this or plastic or, well, like this plastic, if you let it dry there, it's going to want to stay because it's a hybrid ink. It's some good stuff. Hybrid inks you can use with water-based markers, alcoholic markers, whatever you got going, and it won't smudge or move. For that same reason, if you let it dry on something like this, it will pretty much stay there. Not like a completely permanent thing, so I wouldn't say like I would decorate something with hybrid inks, but if you want to remove it because you just want to clean up your area, spray it with a little alcohol, which is kind of counterintuitive because it doesn't smear with alcohol, but when you spray it with alcohol, it will wipe away. So that's what I do whenever I have stubborn hybrid ink that doesn't want to wash away. So I just want to let you guys know about that. So I'm dipping into the little orange. I'm going to start down here and just kind of go out, and I, you know, trying to be heavier and then lighter as I go out towards the edge. So heavier here, a little bit lighter as I come out here. Okay. Again, it's a stencil. You can do however you like. And then I want the lavender color at the very top. Again, a little bit heavier and doing less pressure as I come out. So a little heavier here, a little lighter. And I'm happy with that. So that is it for that first layer. I am going to go clean this off. But look at that. Okay, so now we have number 2. And, you know, with stencils, you can play with it however you like. I mean, you can layer this up differently, but for me, now I'm just eyeballing this because there is no real overlap on this one and the first one. So sometimes when there's an overlap, you can see, okay, this needs to be here because it needs to overlap on whatever it was that was below it. Since there's not on this one, I'm just kind of eyeballing where I want it to be. And so yeah, so I just rinsed that. Again, if you have some stubborn hybrid ink stuck to it, you can use some alcohol. I usually use in a spray bottle, but you can just put it like on a paper towel or however. Okay, I am gonna use a little bit green here and here. Again, I'm looking at this as reference. So as you're looking at this, we have these little orange bits. Whatever's orange here is basically what we're doing now. So that this is a nice reference to have. So you can see everything orange comes from Stenciled too. So I'm gonna do these green here, a little bit of green here and here, those little guys, and then orange, not orange, sorry, lavender behind this and this. So I'm gonna dip into the dark green. That's what I have here. We do have a couple of little accent pieces here and there that, you know, you can put in whatever color. So we'll probably have just some fun with that since I didn't really plan for that one, like what I want to do. So the green, again, I'm starting down here and I'm going to work out. And I'm going to do that with all the greens. So I'll be right back. I'm just going to and do the same thing for these two here. And these little guys, I'm just going to add a little green, just like that. It doesn't have to be like, you know, and I'll be right back. Like I said, we just have fun in this area here. So I'm going to make this one dark purple, which is Grape Ape. This one was called Mrs. Periwinkle, the light purple. Okay, so I'm just going to take that dark purple and pop it right there. Pop it right there. And then maybe for that little cutie right here, I'll just use some yellow. Just bring some of that yellow back. Okay. And then for this guy, again, I want to keep saying orange. I want to use the light purple. So Miss Periwinkle, and then I'll go in with Grape Ape in the next one. So I'm just going to start here in the center and just... I'm going to dab that over here and add a little bit more here because there we go. I'm going to dab it off a little bit. I started in the center and I went out towards the edges because the center would be the darkest point. Well, at least the way I see it. Of course, you can do whatever you like. And I'm being kind of soft with it. That way when we come in with Grape Ape, it'll really pop. Okay, so I have colored, I think, everything on this one. Yep. I'm going to clean that up. Let's see our little reveal here. This is so fun, you guys. Just prettier, and good thing I'm gonna cut that off. All right, super pretty. I love that soft look on the edges there. I'm gonna go rinse this and I'll be right back. Okay, so now so it cleaned up because it was still wet and I was able to just wipe it away, but if it had stayed there and dried, that ink, you definitely will want to spray it with some alcohol or wipe it down with alcohol. Now this is number 3, facing up towards me, LDRS Creative 3. If you turn it around, it's gonna be different, but I think it's symmetrical. It probably wouldn't matter. Well, I'm thinking, but let me put this down. Now, like I said, now when I put it down, there is definitely a place for this to be because you do want to layer up these sections. And so I'm just looking left and right, up and down, you know, kind of where I have this. That's pretty good. Let me go a little bit more this way. All right. Oh, you know what? I'll put it over here because we do have some little dots there and there and there. Again, you can color those lots of different colors, just one different color, however you want to do it. And then we have these cute little things, and then this guy. So let me get some dark orange because I know for sure on this one I want to pop a little dark orange on there. What else do we got? Maybe this little dot here. And maybe I'll do a little bit of yellow in there too, just because the way I kind of smeared it there. And this guy's, why not? At the very top and bottom there, those little orange dots. Just adding a little orange on that. And then maybe I'll take the yellow and just do this little guy. And then if I have a little bit of green on here, I'm just gonna right there. Just hitting that little tiny dot that's just there. Okay. And I think the last thing we have to do on this one is the dark purple. So I'm gonna go with Grape Ape. And being careful because this is here, but it's not that close that you're gonna really, I mean, unless you really get in there. But again, I'm gonna start deep in the center and just cover that whole thing. Again, starting kind of in the center of that flower. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty, you guys. I can tell already. Okay, I think I hit everything. And then you see, I didn't really plan, but I just have the colors in front of me. So as I designed it, you know, I was just like, oh, I'll put this here, I'll put there. It could be yellow, it could be green, it could be purple. You know, these could be 3 different colors, maybe 2 different colors, or these 2 are the same. Maybe the one in the center are different. But I just went with all orange on those pieces there. Oh, so pretty. I love that rich colorway. Let me go wash this off and we're pretty much done. I'm just going to put some powder paper in the background, trim this down, pop our pretty... you know, I was going to show you real quick how this looks, but you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'll do it when we're ready. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so here's our pretty panel. Again, we're going to trim it down. Now, after you trim it down, this is just going to go right on top. Now, you can pop this up a little bit if you wanted, so it has like a little dimension and you still see that beautiful stenciling underneath. Or you can just lay it right on top. And you're good to go there too. However you want to use it. You know, once we have it cut out, you're going to have... You can put some of this beautiful background paper. And look how pretty this looks, just like if you were just to trim this down with that background paper. You know, it's just a beautiful folk art panel that you can just do whatever you like with. So pretty. Oh, look at this. So I'm going to choose one to go in the background. I'm going to trim this down to just under 8 1/4 by just under 3 1/4, okay? So it kind of... So it's not exactly the same measurement as, but just a little bit smaller. That way I have some room to play if it's, you know, a little bit off. I don't want it to be right on the edges. So I'm going to cut that down and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I just want to show you basically how I did this. When I went to trim these pieces off, I really didn't even pay attention to the numbers. I just cut it so that it was close to the dots, but not super close, but as close as I can get because I knew that would bring it inside that little frame. And then as close to the edges as I can get it. And it worked out pretty well. So I think that's going to be good. Again, it's just a little bit smaller than 8 1/4, a little bit smaller than 3 1/4 in the other direction. I'm just going to glue these 2 together, just like this. But again, if you want to put a bunch of dimensionals behind here and here, it's just going to give it a little bit of a lift, a different, you know, look. Really pretty. And then this guy, I just cut it down to almost 8 1/2 by 3 1/2 because I wanted to max out as much of the little edge that I can get from this pretty paper. It was very hard to pick a paper because they're all so pretty. They look amazing. So I picked this one because it has a little bit of orange and other colors in there. Hopefully you see a little bit of it. And then I'm going to layer that on this card base. And this is just standard A2 size piece of paper. It's like an orangey tone. Again, 8 1/2 because the paper's already 8 1/2. And then by 7, and I'm going to score it at 3 1/2. So it's going to be 8 1/2 by 3 1/2. And then I know because people will say, oh, you're covering up all that pretty. I'm going to gut this. And all that means, I'm not going to do on this because I've tried to keep this pristine, this one behind here. But I'm just going to take this guy. My craft knife, and I'm not going to measure it like any certain way. You can do this even on your cutting board. It depends on the type you use, but if you use the kind that has a little, not the guillotine type, but just a regular cutting tool, you can just place it on there, go down, turn your paper, do a little bit more, a little bit more. I'm just going to eyeball this and cut this away because really I just need that little edge. So I'll be right back. I'm at the last cut, just from here to here. Again, just eyeballing. I'm leaving myself a little bit of a lip, but it's not perfectly straight at all. But now I have this piece I can use for something else, you know, however you like. Or the backside, of course. Okay. So I just want to show you that. So again, I'm going to glue these together, glue this to my little frame, and I'll be right back. So I went and stuck that down to the base, and then I put some dimensional adhesive on this one, so this will pop up from this part, but however you like to do it. Looks really pretty and clean, and I'm just going to pay attention to what I'm doing here. Try to get that lined up. And then I'll just add a sentiment. Now I'll probably choose a sentiment from one of the sets, just stamp it, and then maybe put some background of that same orange paper behind it. Something like that. Before I really stick this down. Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, you could shaker this. I think that'd be really sweet. Really Alright guys, so that's a stenciled and die cut tutorial for today. You saw there was plenty to work with, so I'll have some videos for you coming up in the next few days throughout the summer. Really beautiful collection. So thank you so much, Angie, for sending these. Congrats on the new collection. They're just really pretty. If you have any questions, leave them there in the comments. I'll have the links for you guys in the description box, and I'll have some images for you, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.